You know how many times you went to DoorDash last month?
Kinda still live, but still be broke, kinda, you know?
OnlyFans, why are you paying for OnlyFans? So you started the month with $2.79 in your bank account. That terrifies me. You can't rate yourself an 8 when you got credit card debt and collections right now. Have you not looked and see what your payments due this month? Did you know you're spending that much? Obviously not.
Honestly, like, it was always kind of like a struggle.
If you have $2 in your bank account, there's no reason you should be door dashing for $20. Payments resumed in October. Did you know that?
No,
I mean, that's 25% of your income is going straight to Uber.
everything's eventually gonna catch up on you.
Are you going to be bored when collections is garnishing your wages? That is $2.1 million that DoorDash would cost you. They're not necessities. I can already tell in your... Do you want to live a hard life and live paycheck to paycheck with $2 in your bank account to start each month?
My name is Joshua Maxwell Jackson. I'm 25 years old, and I'm calling in from downtown Los Angeles.
And what do you do for work out in Los Angeles, Joshua?
Currently, I serve at Fix and Soul Kitchen. Yeah, so I be slinging chicken and liquor.
And how long have you been doing that for?
Since we opened, October 18th of 2021.
And how much you make a year slinging chicken?
Yeah, like 65.
You've been doing that for the past 2 years. What did you do prior to that?
Prior to that, honestly, I was working at 7-Eleven. I was like a manager at 7-Eleven. Wasn't really making that much money. Like, it was literally like $17 an hour, but like long hours. Like, the paychecks were like $700.
While you're living in LA?
Yeah.
Impossible to live off of living in LA, making $700 every 2 weeks.
See, but then like when I was working at 7-Eleven, I was living in a like housing situation where the rent was only $600 a month. So like I was able to kind of still live, but still be broke, kind of, you know?
And how would you find your current financial situation? Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being horrific, 10 being picture perfect.
I'll say an 8 because I'm really grateful for like my financial situation now because it's like really, I don't know, like it's really like rewarding, you know, like because, you know, when you like struggle so much with money and everything like that, but then like now you're bringing in like 4K, 5K a month, like, you know, sometimes like 7K and all that stuff. So it's really relieving, like at least having like a bit of financial freedom. But you know, I am like an actor, podcaster and stuff like that. So like my goals are like super high and like I got a lot of people I want to take care of. So that's why I rated an 8 because I'm almost there, but I'm not there just yet.
Okay. So before we dive into that, if you're rating yourself an 8, if I'm rating someone on a scale of 1 to 10, 8, I want to see be debt free. I want to see saving money every single month. And is that the position we're in right now?
Oh Lord, no. Okay, so let's probably say I'm a 5.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's talk about current debts then and see what that is. What are the current debts we have right now?
Okay, so I do have student loans that are averaging to like 25,000. I went to UC Riverside. Some of those loans are like subsidized, some of them aren't subsidized. So, you know, I'm getting interest on some of them, but not all of them. I also do have credit card as well. Unfortunately, I went a little crazy when I was in college. That's probably like, you know, I don't have the reports for it, but I see it on my Credit Karma account and it's like 1,700 for Discover and like 700 for like Capital One.
And sounds like you've had that for a few years since you had it in college.
Yeah.
What's happened in the last few years and why is it still there? Are you paying the minimum payments? What's happening?
So life has happened, honestly. There was like a lot of stuff happening like within my family and everything to where I did have to like try to travel out. Like, you know, because I am from the South. So it's like if I go back home for like an incident, it's like flight tickets are like $700 for there and back. It just even like, you know, finding living situations like living in LA is pretty tough. Like, especially when you have jobs that are like paying you like $15 an hour. And, you know, it's like rent here is like thousands of dollars. Fortunately, I was able to like find places where I was able to, you know, like spend $600 to $700 on rent when I first moved out here. But still, like, I was working in, like, Orange County. So I had to, like, pay for gas and stuff like that for Uber and everything going all the way out there and stuff. And all that stuff, like, really does accumulate. So I feel like I just haven't been able to, like, put money aside for it because I'm, like, living in, like, the now, kind of. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like I can get to it when I get to it, which is a bad mindset.
Now, when you get to it?
Yeah, which is super bad.
So you haven't paid these in a few years then?
Yeah.
Have they gone to collections or you just...
They have gone to gone to collection. They have.
Okay, so you can't rate yourself an 8 when you got credit card debt and collections right now.
That's why I brought it down to a 5.
I mean, if you got credit card debt and collections, I'm putting you down at a 2 or 3.
Okay, we can do that.
It's not the worst credit card debt in the world. It's $2,400. I mean, I've seen a lot worse credit card debt, but you still owe people $2,400 that you decided, hey, I'm just going to kind of turn my head and hope and pray that it disappears one day.
Yeah, kind of.
And I don't want you to do that.
I know.
Because I can promise you they want their money.
Yeah. No, I get calls about it like all the time. Like, I am going to pay it though. Honestly, look, I'm praying for something to pop off, and like, because I am putting in a lot of work for like projects and everything like that, and I can accumulate like some financial stuff even with my job now. So
you can't hope and you can hope and pray all you want, but you also have to build a plan and take action on it. So that's what we're going to talk about today, because it's middle of October right now, $2,400. I would like to see how can we get this debt paid off in the next 2 or 3 months. With it going to collections, what does that look like? Can we save up money, call them, say, hey, we'll give you 80 cents on the dollar or 70 cents on the dollar, and see if they'll take that. You'll probably have to have the funds to be able to do that. But that's why I started this podcast. I want to help you figure out how can you improve your financial situation, how can you get out of this credit card debt and take reasonable action. So anyone watching this, hit the like and subscribe button, because we're trying to help Joshua get out of debt, and he wants your support, so hit that like button.
Exactly.
Okay, so credit card debt, $2,400. Student loans, $25,000. And your payments resumed this month. What is your minimum payment right now?
Yeah, like honestly, it's like a guesstimate. Like for me, like at least with like student loans and stuff, probably like, I don't know, like 17, or it's not 1,700, like 700, probably like 400, 500. I need to like actually look.
Have you not looked and see what your payments due this month?
I have not looked.
Payments resumed in October. Did you know that?
No.
You didn't know student loans resumed?
No, I didn't.
Joshua, come on. The interest started accruing in September and payments were due in October. So that means you've already missed your first set of payments. I think they went out the first week of October.
Yeah.
So that means after this call, you need to log in, figure out where your loans are right now, figure out what your minimum payments are, and start figuring out how to start putting those in your budget and start paying those down.
This is fact.
Do you know what your interest rate is on those?
I think like 3%, 4%.
You sent me in the spreadsheet 5.5%, so off by a little bit. But 5.5% isn't the worst interest I've ever seen in my life with student loans, but it's still debt. It's still interest on it. I don't like any debt. I don't like any student loans. I don't like any credit card debts. But we're going to talk a lot through that today too, is what are some things that you can change right now in your spending habits, in your budgeting, in your financials, so you can not have, right now we got $28,000 worth of debt right now. And that's not a spot I want you to be in at all. So on that, what assets do we have right now?
I don't have
any retirement accounts, any savings?
No
retirement, no savings, no investing.
No. And it's actually funny because me and my Uber driver were just talking about like a retirement and everything, like a retirement plan in the car.
Okay. Well, that's also something we're going to talk about, because 25 years old, the beautiful thing is you're young. Your net worth is about negative $28,000 right now, but you're young, you're 25. Let's start figuring out and taking action, building habits, educating yourself today, so that when you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, that number is only going up. It's increasing over time. You're saving more money. You're making more money. You're investing money. And there's definitely possibilities. How can you get to a net worth of over $1 million by the time you retire? There's endless opportunities. And that starts with now. That doesn't start, hey, 10, 15, 20 years, all start trying to figure this out. It starts with small habits now will pay off dividends in the future.
Okay. Thank you. Honestly.
Talking about student loans. What did you study in college?
Chemistry and philosophy.
And did you ever have a goal of using that degree post-grad, or have you just gone from college to the 7-Eleven job to now the server job?
I was kind of like, pushed by my parents and everything to do that, because like they literally would always like STEM, like, they would always like, put success like with like having a science background and stuff like that as like a Black male and all that. So like they literally like pushed it on me, and not forced me to do it, because I did like it, but I did like it enough to where I wanted to do it like outside of like, college. But I still got the degree and everything because I started it. But I did like, get this passion for acting like my last 2 quarters in school. So like I put money towards like being enrolled into a performing arts school, and was going to UCR finishing like chemistry and philosophy while doing acting as well. So yeah, like I haven't really, thought about like what you were asking.
Got these degrees, not putting them to use right now. But what are your future career goals?
To be an amazing actor and podcaster and entertainer. So I do have like, this belief in myself that it's gonna come and everything. And I've been putting in work and everything like that. Doing films and having them on networks, So everything is working out like how it should.
Yeah, and I'm all for pursuing passions and chasing dreams, but also doing it in a smart, responsible manner. And what I do like about what you're doing right now is you do have a full-time job serving, and that's not the end-all be-all goal to serve for the rest of your life, but that's allowing you still to make money, put a roof over your head, food on the table. And in the meantime, how can you get your acting career off the ground? How can you invest in these different things? Because being an entertainer, being an actor, being a podcaster, I mean, it takes years. It takes a long time to break into those industries and start making a living in those.
Yeah.
On the acting side, so how much are you making a year right now from acting?
Honestly, not that much. Probably like 2,000 or something, like $2,000 or something like that. I do have this new movie on a network though, and we are getting paid quarterly, but we haven't got paid yet. So I mean, I can like add that in there, like after like payments and like everything have been processed and all that stuff. But honestly, I'm making more money from serving than I am with acting.
Okay, so 2,000 a year from acting. What's this new movie gonna be paying you to be part of it?
For the second movie, I'm supposed to be getting paid like $1,000 a day, and it's 14 days. Because
Sweet.
like
When does that start?
it should be starting next summer.
Okay, so still a long ways away.
Exactly.
I was gonna say that was starting next month. Hey, we're gonna have this credit card debt paid off and these student loans quicker than before. So
Yeah.
that's a great thing. If you have this additional $14,000 worth of income next year from this opportunity, is it guaranteed
Yeah.
to be in production? Or I don't know, with the writer's strike and with all the acting strikes in the last few months, what's happening?
Well, the network that our movie is posted on is like different than like Netflix and everything like that. It's still one of those new ones, but everyone likes it. It's called Tubi. And Tubi, like they actually do pay their actors. Like they're not really like cheating them like how Netflix and everything is like cheating everyone like with their quarterly payment. And then they actually fund projects and everything too,
I'm not going to get into the whole actors and writers strike debacle right now, but I see you
Okay.
have some words for Netflix. Hoping that project gets off the ground next year, because that would be a tremendous jump if you're jumping from $12,000 to $14,000 in income on a side gig. Don't go quit your job when you get this, because you can't do that right now if you're only making $14,000 a year to live in LA. But that's an additional $14,000 a year that you're gonna be able to use to attack this debt.
Yeah.
So, what was your childhood like growing up in Mississippi with your parents and financials there?
Honestly, like it was always kind of like a struggle. I've always noticed like my parents like being late on rent. We were getting like kicked out of the houses because they were not paying their rent. One time my mom's car got like, towed away because she couldn't pay the car payment and everything. We weren't really financially smart. I'm slowly breaking the cycle because I'm not in as much debt. I'm ignoring my student loan. Their debt came from like for life struggling stuff. So like I do have like a chance to get out.
Love to see you break that chain in your family and start educating yourself more about finances, so that you don't have a car repoed one day because, hey, let's not finance cars. And let's not miss rent payments because you've saved up an emergency fund if you get laid off or something happens in your life. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about ways to avoid that and start changing your family tree. Everyone's going to make financial mistakes in their life, but it's about learning from those and not making those same mistakes in the future so that you can set yourself up for success. So, Did your parents talk to you much about money at all growing up?
No. It was like if they did talk about money, it was more like, oh, okay, you need to like go to college, like and get a chemistry degree, math degree, and stuff like that, because that's where you'll get paid $80,000 a year and stuff like that. Like it wasn't really like, oh, start a savings account. Like when I was like picking the loans for school, like I tried to ask my parents and they were like, I don't know what any of that means. And they were like, you have to ask someone else.
What do you think some of your key lessons you've kind of learned from your parents in regards to finances just from watching them grow up?
I feel like I learned that you do have to pay people back. Oh my God, it sounds so bad with my actions, but you do have to pay people back because like they like, I don't know, like with a car, for example, like you can't, that's not your car if you haven't fully paid it off. And if you're doing like monthly payments on it and everything, like they can still take that back. Even like with a house that you're renting, like that's not your house, like that's someone else's house. And like if you don't pay, like you're gonna get evicted. And I just learned that everything's eventually gonna catch up on you.
Yeah, 100%. And if you owe someone money, they're going to come get it, whether it's credit card companies sending you to collections, whether it's a landlord that you don't pay your rent to, or a car company is going to come repo your car, or even if you buy a house and you have a loan with the bank and you don't pay that, hey, you're going to get foreclosed upon. And also, if you own your house free and clear and you don't pay property taxes, you're going to get screwed by the government too, because you're not paying your property taxes. So if you owe people money, then there's repercussions for that. And it might take, your credit cards, you've had those for what, 4 or 5 years now, and you've decided to do nothing about it. Guess what? That's going to catch up to you. It's in collections. You're getting phone calls and people are going to come ringing and they want their money. So,
oh, wow.
On that, like on the credit cards, collections, they can, if it gets that far enough, they can start garnishing your wages and start pulling that from your paycheck. And that's not a spot you want to be in either, because
they can do that.
Wage garnishments for credit card debts are limited to the lesser of 25% of your disposable income, or by the amount which your disposable earnings are greater than 30 times the federal minimum wage, which is $7.25 an hour. So there are some limitations on it, but they can still garnish your wages.
Oh, wow.
You have no say in that. If they give the ability to garnish your wages, you can't fight that. They're going to start garnishing your wages. That's going to come out of your paycheck before you even get paid. So,
oh, God.
Exactly. It's going to catch up with you one day or another, whether you decide to ignore it or decide to take action on it. They're going to get their money. And the only other way that they might not get their money is if you declare bankruptcy, which with $2,000 in credit card debt would be frankly, probably one of the worst decisions you can make right now.
So, okay, because I know some people who filed for bankruptcy and they said that it was one of the best things that happened to them. Is that not good?
No, filing bankruptcy is never the answer.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just going to stick with you for years and years and years. And this is money that you've signed up to do. You're an adult. You made a decision, say, hey, I'm going to spend this money. I'm going to sign up for this loan. And then you're just trying to figure out an easy way out to get rid of that. And bankruptcy costs money. There's a lot of hurdles and things you have to go through. It's going to live with you for the next 7 years, I think it is. You're not going to be able to buy a house, get a car, all these different issues. It's going to affect you with jobs. It's just not a environment you want to go into, especially, frankly, with $2,400 in credit card debt. Bankruptcy is the last thing you should ever think of. And student loans, you can't go bankrupt. You can't bankrupt student loans. Those stick with you. Those are unbankruptable.
Oh, okay.
We're not even going to discuss bankruptcy because that's not what we're here to discuss. We're going to discuss how to get out of debt and take control of your current actions.
Okay, bet.
Let's dive through your current monthly expenses. I know you sent over the budget to me, so we're going to kind of run through these numbers.
Okay.
So if you're bringing in $65,000 a year gross income, that'll put your net pay about $50,000 after taxes, which will put you about $4,166 a month after taxes is your take-home pay. Does that sound about right?
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of expenses, we have rent is $1,080, utilities about $90, and then you put $150 in the home maintenance budget. Is that for other utilities, or what was that for?
Just for buying different things for the house, I don't know, just furniture and stuff like that, just little things.
Okay, so home furnishing is not maintenance. And then auto and transport, you put $924 on gas. Is that how much money you spend a month on gas?
For Uber.
Oh, you're Ubering everywhere in LA.
Yeah.
So you don't have a car right now?
No.
That's a lot of money in
Uber
right there.
I know. As I was calculating it, I was like, oh my God.
And how long has that been going on that you've been paying Uber about $900 a month?
Oh my God. Probably 2 years. Yeah.
That's 25% of your income is going straight to Uber.
Yeah.
Have you looked at public transportation, buses, or anything else like that in LA?
Yeah, I just don't like riding the bus or the train in LA because it's it's really dangerous.
We got to figure out a solution for this, because that's worse than a car payment there. If you got insurance $150, if you have a car payment at $250 and you have gas for $200, you're out the door right there, $600. Granted, I hate car payments. I hate financing cars, so I'm not going to suggest you to finance a car. But that is a lot of money right there for gas. So we got to figure out how can we free up some money in your budget to be able to get a car that you don't have to pay $900 to Uber every single month.
Yeah.
And then we got groceries, $100 a month. So you're not buying much groceries?
I feel like I buy a lot of groceries. I feel like it's $100 because it's not that much that. Honestly, I was probably lowballing that, honestly, because
$25 a week is not much money.
Yeah, I was lowballing that. Oh God,
it's like 3 pounds of chicken right there.
Yeah. Okay, so it's probably 500. Yeah, probably 500. Yeah.
Okay, we got 500 for groceries, which brings your total necessities to 2,744. And then we have in your fun money section, we have subscriptions, about $50. We have eating out $500. We have entertainment $400. We have gifts and donations $100. Health and fitness $100. Personal care $200. Shopping $700. So that brings your total fund money to $2,050 a month, which brings your total expenses to $4,800 on average on the month. And that does not include student loans, and that does not include this credit card debt.
Right.
So if we were conservative on the student loan side and said $400 a month, that would mean your total monthly expenses would be just under $5,200. And bringing in $4,100 after taxes is less money is coming in than you're supposed to be spending, than you're spending every single month. So that means we got to change something, because otherwise you're going to find yourself in more debt or never getting out of this debt. And that's not what I want for you. So we got to start figuring out, what did we do to get out of this?
Okay. Yeah.
So when it comes to, I guess, income and expenses, have you been living paycheck to paycheck and kind of with minimal amount in your checking account every single month for the last couple of years?
No, because like with serving, like, I don't know, like with serving, like I go to work, like, well, it's kind of like paycheck to paycheck, kind of like you can say that, because like we'll be looking for, like, you know, me and my coworkers are looking forward to working the weekend. And then we're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to make this money. Like, I need some money and stuff like that. So it kind of is like paycheck to paycheck in a way, because we really work off of our tip.
Yeah, but also you have to go to work to be able to pay
Exactly.
rent the next
Yeah.
month.
So
Or
sometimes
you
like,
have-
yeah, I'll have to owe Uber money sometimes. Like
you can't afford to miss 3 shifts in a row or even 1 shift because you got bills, you got whatever to pay,
yeah.
and you don't have any money in your checking account right now. So that's living paycheck to paycheck if you literally need to go to work to be able to afford anything. So
Yeah.
how does that make you feel? Have you been stressed about money at all over the last couple of years?
Yeah, like, but I wouldn't be stressed about the money to pay rent and stuff like that, because I know I'm going to pay like rent and like my phone bill and stuff like that. I haven't been stressed about the credit cards and all that stuff and like the student debt. Yeah, like, you know, I've been stressing with money mainly, like, you know, to invest in like certain things like for entertainment and everything like that. But it's not really been like, oh, like I'm gonna go homeless, like I need to, like, you feel me, like I need to make this money, like, you know, like that. Like,
I mean, your rent compared to your income is not bad. I mean, a lot of people say 28% of your gross income is where you should be. Other people say 25% of your net take-home pay. I like being in like the 25 to 30% of your net take-home pay in terms of your rent compared to your net income. I mean, you're at 26%, so you're right in that ballpark. But the issue is we got this $1,000 in Uber every single month, and then on top of that, we got between eating out, entertainment, and shopping. That's about $1,600 a month in those different categories, which is an absurd amount of money to be spending on that when you got this debt. Because, I mean, just a few months of not doing that, you can pay off the credit card debt and you start taking these student loans and start just budgeting your money. You can change your financial future and picture by just a few small changes right here if this is what your monthly spending is. If your rent in LA was $4,000 and you're doing this, I mean, it'd be very difficult to get out of a lease and find a place to live for $1,000 to be able to change that. But right now you're in a situation where you got low rent. Yes, you got a huge Uber bill, which we're going to talk about what are some different scenarios there that you can figure out. But really this total fund money of $2,000 a month, we got to start figuring out a plan. How do we cut this down bare bones as possible? Still want you to enjoy life. Still want you to have fun. But hey, we don't need to be spending $500 a month eating out. We don't need to be spending $700 a month shopping because we got collections about to take our wages.
yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to go through the Cash App transactions and then the bank account transactions that you sent over so we can take a look at and see where all this money is going. So last month we had just under $4,500 are deposited into your bank account, but we had $4,300 that went out. So you started the month with $2.79 in your bank account. That terrifies me. Does that not scare you?
It does. Hearing it all out.
I mean, you can't even go buy a McDouble at McDonald's with that. And then we had $4,300 go out the door, so you ended the balance with $180, which is, okay, great. That's a step in the right direction. You spent less money than you made, but that's still way too much money to be spending right now when we have no money in our bank account. So
yeah.
let's see what we have in here. So it looks like, does every transaction go from your bank account to Cash App?
Yeah, like usually like I'll just put like the money on my Wells Fargo card and then I'll transfer it to my Cash App. Sometimes I leave like money on the Wells Fargo card, but most times I transfer it to the app.
The first thing I see, Hulu, subscriptions. For the next 6 months, I challenge you, no subscriptions or until you're out of credit card debt. How many different subscriptions do you have right now?
I have Max, Hulu, Zeus, Paramount Plus, Tubi, Peacock.
That's more than $50 a month that you told me.
Yeah, Tubi is free though, in a way.
Okay, so what you should do, again, we're looking at things that we can change today so you can start saving money and start paying off this credit card debt. And you don't need 6 subscription services. If you got 6 of them or 7 of them, it's $100. Pick one that's $15 a month, and that's what you stick with. And guess what? That's $60 or $70 that you can save every single month and start throwing that towards the credit card debt, and then start throwing towards the student loans. But you don't need 6 or 7 different subscription services. That means you got one for every night of the week right now. You don't need that.
Yeah, this is true.
And then we got DoorDash. Why are you DoorDashing for $20?
Yeah, I shouldn't do that.
You got a Wendy's meal for $19.38.
Yeah.
If you got credit card debt, if you got student loans, we need to be eating as cheaply as possible to get out of this. If you have $2 in your bank account, there's no reason you should be DoorDashing for $20.
Yeah.
Go to the grocery store, start buying groceries, start meal prepping so that you don't get hungry and like, oh, what do I do? Let's DoorDash. No, you got a meal in the freezer, a meal in the fridge that you can be heating up and eat that. But DoorDashing right now should not be doing that.
Okay.
That's it on the bank account transaction. So we'll go over to Cash App and see where the spending is there. So on this card, you spent $3,700 that was transferred through Wells Fargo on here. And I see all these Uber transactions. And then I see DoorDash. You know how many times you went to DoorDash last month?
Quite a bit.
Give me a guess.
8 times?
8?
10?
Keep going up.
14?
Keep going up.
17?
25.
Oh, wow. Oh, God.
25 DoorDashes in a single month. $25, $34, $18, $15, $17, $25, $18, $20, $33. I mean, the average of this is probably around $22. So you spent probably $500 to $700 on DoorDash last month alone.
Oh, wow.
That's insanity. Did you know you're spending that much? Obviously not.
No, I didn't know that.
Have you ever sat down and done a budget or used an online tool or platform to track on what you're spending?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to send you a free website I use. It's called mint.com.
Please.
And you plug in your bank account, you plug in your debit cards, and it will start tracking all your expenses. And it'll start categorizing. So categorize DoorDash as food. It'll categorize Uber as transportation. And then guess what? You can look and see how much money you spent on every single thing the month before that current month. So you can realize, okay, I just spent $600 or $700 on DoorDash last month. Guess what? I should probably change that. You're wondering where your money's going every single month, and it's going to DoorDash. And it really opens up your eyes because right now I just asked you, how much did you spend on DoorDash last month? How many times did you go? And you said 8. And the answer was 25. And that's because you just think it's just second nature to go on your phone and hit DoorDash, and you just think, oh, I only did it a few times. But it really adds up. And if you're not tracking it, if you're not intentional about your money, if you're not understanding where it's going, I can promise you 12 months from now, if you don't start budgeting your money, you're going to be in the same situation because you decided to let your money tell you where it's going versus you telling your money where it's going.
Yeah.
And if you have a budget, if you have a plan of where it's going, then you know, okay, this month I can only spend $500 on groceries this month. Groceries ain't now instead of the current $1,200 you're spending probably. Then that means when it's the third week of the month and you've spent $400 and you know you only have $100 left for the week or for the month, hey, I'm not going to eat out. I'm not going to DoorDash this week. You really need to start budgeting your money because, I mean, getting out of this $2,400 in credit card debt will be easy if we cut out the DoorDash for 3 or 4 months. It's not even, yes, cutting out DoorDash, changing that bad habit is going to be a little bit of a challenge.
It's so hard.
Do you have DoorDash Premium?
No, I just have the regular one.
I was going to say, if you had Premium, cancel it. But what you should do is you should, right now or after this, go on your phone, delete the DoorDash app. If you have Grubhub, delete the app. If you have whatever other Uber Eats, delete the app. Because guess what? If you put friction in the way of you eating out, of you doing these different things, guess what? It's going to be a lot more difficult to fall back on those bad habits. And
Yeah.
I did this myself. I was a Amazon shopaholic when my wife and I moved into our house. We would show up every single day and we'd have probably 10 packages at our door. And I realized that I just had a problem with one tap purchases on Amazon. So you know what I did? I went on my phone and I said, the only way for me to fix this is if I delete the Amazon app off my phone. Guess what? I deleted it and I stopped buying things on Amazon. And so it's just preventing that friction. And so that's the easiest thing you can do right now is you want to change your DoorDash, don't keep the app on your phone, hit the delete button, do it right now. And guess what? Next week, you're not even going to realize that it was not even there.
I just feel like it's such a hard thing. Like I feel like it's like second nature. I'll get bored and I'll be like, oh, okay, like let me do it. Like let me get me some DoorDash. Like I'll get some chips.
Are you going to be bored when collections is garnishing your wages, or do you want to get rid of DoorDash for a few months?
I'll get rid of DoorDash for a few months. Yeah.
Are you deleting it right now?
Yeah, I deleted it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
See, that is You said you wanted to change your family tree and trajectory with finances. And that is one of the small steps you're taking right now. That is a small step right now that you're taking that is going to change the trajectory of your life. I mean, right now, if you took what you spent on DoorDash last month and invested that, first, investing won't happen until we're out of debt. But if you were to take that same $700 and put that into investment accounts between now and when you're 65, you know how much money that $700 a month would turn into by the time you're 67? So 25 to 67, that's 42 years. If we put $700 a month into an investment account that earns about 7% annual rate of return, do you know how much that'd be when you're 67?
How much?
Give me a guess.
20,000?
$700 a month over 42 years, you'll put in $352,000 into that investment account. But with compound interest, by investing into index funds, in your average rate of return, if it was 7%, obviously past performance does not guarantee future returns, but the average return of the stock market is around 7 to 8%. So if we accounted for a 7% annual rate of return, that'd be $2.1 million you'd have when you're 67 years old. So by canceling that DoorDash, paying off this debt, and then start investing the difference, that is $2.1 million that DoorDash would cost you over the course of your life.
What?
Does that make you want to stop DoorDash?
Yes. Wait, what the hell?
That is $8,400 a year, and you do that for 42 years, that is $2.1 million. That is not a small amount of money.
Right.
And these little habits that you start now will change the trajectory of your life. Even if, say, first we need to be paying off the debt, but even say after that you have $700 a month and you decide, okay, I'm going to spend $200 of it and $500 I'm going to put in an investment account, then you got $1.5 million still. So that allows you $200 more a month to go back to eating out or whatever it is. The remaining $500 towards investing, $1.5 million. Again, that is phenomenal. 67 years old and you have that, and that's accounting for inflation. The average return of the stock market is about 10 to 12%. If we count for 3% inflation, I like being on the conservative side, so 7%. You're in a phenomenal spot.
Oh, okay. So literally what you're telling me is like right now is the time to change. Like, because if I don't change right now, all these bad habits are gonna, oh my God.
Yep. And guess what? If you decide to start doing this when you're 40 years old, start putting the $700 in a month when you're 40,
yeah,
it'll be $670,000 when you're 67. So by you starting now, it'll be 2.1. But if you wait until you're 40 to start figuring this out, $670,000.
yeah.
So that's going to cost you $1.4 million by waiting 15 years.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Again, let's go dive through more transactions. See what else can we cut out of this? Because we got to start making these changes today, because guess what? Changing now will change the trajectory of your life. If you wait till you're 30, 40, 50, you're going to have to play catch up to have the same amount of money in your bank account by the time you're 67.
Yeah.
Besides DoorDash, let's see what else we have. We've got all these Ubers on here, a bunch of scooters too. What is Amazon Rent Auto Purchase?
I don't know. It's like a bill that Amazon gave because I have Amazon Prime and I think it's like something I signed up for.
According to Google, Amazon Rent Auto Purchase is a scam.
What?
I just Googled the description, which is Amazon Rent Auto Purchase, and people say that it is a scam. That is a scam card.
Oh. Okay.
So I would look into that. You need to figure out if it's not showing up on your Amazon account, it's probably a scam. And you need to cancel that card and get a new one. Because if you just search how it is AMZN Rent Auto Purchase on Google or on Bing, it's showing up this is a scam and says they've been taking money from people's accounts trying to disguise it as Amazon Prime. They use the Amazon logo but attach it to an email as AMZN. Beware. So a lot of people say that is $16.41 a month that will be back in your pocket, because it sounds like you're paying someone a scam right now.
Yeah, I didn't.
See, this what happens when you budget. You start looking at your monthly transactions to see, okay, what are these things? And how long has this been going on for?
I think like months.
Oh no, that's why you got to look at these things. You got to investigate. If you didn't buy something on Amazon, you should look into it and see why am I getting charged this?
Oh my God.
Okay, let's see what else we got. What is Stay Lit Entertainment?
I think it's a smoke shop.
Okay, you're spending, see a couple different transactions on here, probably about over $100 a month on smoke shops. That's another thing that's not currently in the... We've got smoothies for $7. Again, we need to be cutting the eating out right now. Between the DoorDash, smoothies, and other eating out, we got to really cut that out, because that is just an absurd amount of money we're spending on eating out. We have Amazon for $14.88. That looks like a legit Amazon transaction. Do you know what that one is for $14.88 on September 9th?
You said October 9th?
September 9th.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So, again, Amazon, the best thing I would suggest you do, delete Amazon, because I see another Amazon purchase on September 11th for $175. Was that a necessity on September 11th for $175?
Yeah, like, cause I was moving in, like, to my new place, so I had to buy like a bunch of new stuff for my new place.
What'd you buy?
Um,
They're not necessities. I can already tell in your face.
it was like, okay, so it was a Naruto bath set in like my room, like my bathroom's like decorated as Naruto, and then like I bought another TV, and then I bought like all these different posters and everything for the room.
So not necessities. Again, in a few months, let's cut the Amazon purchase out. Let's delete the app and let's see how long you go without it, because guess what? $175 plus the eating out. You could have paid off the credit card debt this past month alone with DoorDash and these shopping things. Basically, you could have had most of it paid off.
Yeah.
You're getting charged $190 on September 11th from Amazon Rent Auto Purchase.
What?
I see Amazon Rent Auto Purchase on September 11th for $190, and I see September 12th for $12. There's 5 transactions for Amazon Rent Auto Purchase.
The scam?
According to Bing, I searched, it says Amazon Rent Auto Purchase is a scam.
Oh my God.
Did you spend on, it shows September 8th, $147, September 8th, $16, September 11th, $190, September 12th, $12, September 22nd, $182. And it is different than the normal Amazon description.
No. Oh my God. Okay.
So I see 4 normal Amazon transactions last month, and then I see 5 of these Amazon ones that, according to the internet, are scams.
Okay. That's really shocking to me.
That's at least $500, if that is the scam, like it's saying on the internet, that you just paid to whatever and didn't realize it was even gone.
Okay.
See, hey, the beautiful thing coming to this show is that we're uncovering transactions that you didn't realize that might be scams, that you didn't even know where this money was going and didn't even realize it was gone.
What the hell? This is crazy.
So this evening is saving you hundreds of dollars right then and there.
Yeah.
That's your $500 to invest for the next 42 years. That's costing you money right now. Pura Vida for $78. Is that a clothing store? Is that food?
It's a vegan restaurant, and like my friends and me go to it after our hike.
You're spending $78 now. Come on, but that's adding to the DoorDash this month. We're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars, close to $1,000 on eating out. I'm gonna put you on a challenge. Don't eat out until your credit card debt's gone. And then once your credit card debt's gone, then okay, let's start allocating some money towards eating out, and the rest of it going towards paying off student loans.
Woo.
Paramount Plus, you don't want to do that?
I will. I'll do it. No, I'll do it. That's just going to be so hard.
There's sacrifices in life, and the sacrifices are, do you want to live a hard life and live paycheck to paycheck with $2 in your bank account to start each month? Or you're going to start making changes today that you can start changing your family trajectory and family tree and cut out the DoorDash, cut out the Amazon, cut out the eating out until you get out of debt, and then you can start budgeting and start actually spending money on those that you can actually afford on.
That's giving that. Yeah.
We got liquor stores, we got Paramount Plus. The Ubers on here, like we already talked about, are a lot. 61 Ubers last month. Did you know you Ubered 61 times?
I believe it.
I'm assuming so, since you put $900 for eating out. DoorDash for 7-Eleven. What are you getting from 7-Eleven?
Like some vegan
$40.
chips, like vegan chips, and like,
Walk to the grocery store. When you go to the grocery store once a week and buy those chips that you want.
Yeah.
$40 for probably like 3 or 4 bags of chips. It's costing you twice as much money.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. You only have a $35 T-Mobile payment. You don't have a finance phone or anything?
No, I have a regular phone. Sometimes
Good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Do not go and finance a new iPhone. Don't do it.
No, I'm not.
What is FormSwift?
I think it's a subscription I paid for like an editing thing, but I don't even use it anymore.
Let's cancel it then. You're paying $37 a month right now, and it's a document online platform. $37 back in your pocket. You're just letting money run out of your pocket with these subscriptions, with all the TV providers, entertainment providers, with Amazon scams, with subscriptions that you don't even use, with DoorDash.
Yeah.
So, majority of these are Uber or these DoorDash transactions, eating out. I don't even see any grocery stores on here. OnlyFans, why are you paying for OnlyFans?
Okay, like, no.
We got $30 in OnlyFans, but we won't pay our credit card debt on.
No. Oh, that's so bad. Okay. It was literally like just one person. Like, yeah. Okay. It was wrong. I'm ashamed. Yeah.
So looking through this, we spent $3,700 this month. Majority of it on DoorDash, on the Amazon scam. That's over $1,000 there eating out. And then we have the Ubers, which is a lot of money, but $3,700, if you're spending that every single month, plus your rent, that is $4,700 that you're spending. And that doesn't account for student loans. That's not sustainable if you're bringing in $4,100 a month. So that means we got to start changing right now and taking action on these things. You got to start budgeting your money. And again, I'll send you some different tools and resources to do that so that you can realize how much money you're spending every single month and start cutting back on those things. And maybe it's not a 0 to 1. I'm a like a 0 to 100 kind of guy. So if I'm trying to do something, I go all in. Some people see better success if they go from 0 to 25 to 50 to 75, where maybe this month you try to cut your spending down by 30, 40%. Next month, 60 or 70%. And then the following month, you get to your goal and you kind of work your way down that way. What I would do is set your budget, cut your expenses down to probably about $3,000 a month. And then, so cut out a lot of this nonsense. And then guess what? That extra $1,000 you're going to save up to pay off this credit card. You're going to save up to start paying down these student loans. If you make more money, great. If you get new acting gigs, if you get higher tips at work, great. All that money starts going towards this debt and starts paying that off. But budgeting is your biggest thing you need to start doing right now, because as we just uncovered, we just found over $1,000 worth of money that should not be going out of your wallet every single month.
Yeah.
And that is money that should be in your pocket, that should be going towards paying off your debt, set up your financial future, not towards DoorDash, not towards a potential scam, not towards eating out. So
Yeah.
suggestion number 1 would be budgeting. Suggestion number 2 is saving that money to start paying off the debt. So you got to figure out if $2,400 is in collections, then great. We got to save up $2,400 as quickly as possible and call the collection agency and say, hey, see if you can settle with them. See if they'll take 80 cents on the dollar. See if they'll take 70 cents on the dollar, and get that in writing and pay that off. And if they say, no, we want the 100%, then, and you have the $2,400, pay it and be done with it. Because guess what? They're going to start coming after your wages, and you don't want them to come after your wages.
Right.
I promise you that. And start educating yourself. Start learning more about finances. Start learning more about budgeting. Start learning more about just debt payoff, the different ways. The debt snowball is the best way, I think, to pay off debt in this situation versus with credit cards. Is you kind of go after the smallest debt first, then the next biggest one, the next one. And with this, you go after the $700 debt first, then the $1,700 one, and then start going after your student loans. But you really have to start educating yourself. If you want to start changing your family tree and trajectory, you got to start learning. You got to start talking to people about it. You took a great step coming on here today and just having an open conversation about finances. But you got to start learning more about it. And I'll send you a lot of resources and stuff to learn from.
Please.
Start talking about. And then after that, once we're debt free, this is where the fun begins. We start saving for retirement, start allocating $500, $700 a month towards retirement accounts, put in a Roth IRA. First part, I would start. And guess what? That's what we talked about. That money, if you start that, if you're out of debt by the end of next year, which I think you can do if you hustle, if you start making more money, start serving more with that new acting opportunity next year, then guess what? You can start investing when you're 26 years old. And if you start investing when you're 26 and put $700 a month, that's going to be $1.97 million by the time you're 67. And by you starting then at 26, it's going to make you hundreds of thousands of dollars versus waiting until you're 40. And that's what I want for you. I want you to start saving, start investing, and once you're debt free, because that's going to pay tenfold down the line. The best time to start investing was yesterday, and the next best time is today. When it comes to investing, is you have being in the market as long as possible will benefit you as long as possible, because compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. Your money should double every 7 to 10 years. And so if your money's sitting on the sidelines, or your money's paying car loans, credit card debt, whatever, for 7 or 10 years, that's just delaying your time in the market, which means it's not going to compound as much. So that's where you really got to start educating yourself about, start learning about investing, and start learning about index funds. Do not go chase any options, day trading, whatever humble jumble that sounds like you're going to get rich overnight. It's not going to work. I can promise you 99% of the people that chase that stuff are going to lose money.
Okay.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
What's your biggest takeaway from this experience today?
Basically, that I've been dumb as heck with my money, and I just need to get it together. Like, yeah.
Your wallet, your DoorDash app, your Amazon app, they're telling you where your money is going. They're taking every single dollar every single month. And that's not a spot I want you to be in. That's not a spot you want to be in. And I know you don't want to be in that for the rest of your life. So it starts to come down to, hey, let's start making these decisions and changes now. And they're going to pay off in your life. And I can promise you, when you get this credit card debt paid off, when you get these student loans paid off, you're going to have so much more opportunity to start investing, to start spending money, to start saving money for travel, or do things you enjoy in life, where, hey, I want to start investing $100 a month or $200 a month in my podcast or X, Y, and Z, because you have the opportunity to do that. But when you owe people money, you're screwing yourself there.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be money out of your paycheck every single month. And the last thing I guess we haven't hit on is the car. $900 a month in Uber is expensive as can be. And I don't know the best option for for you because I'm personally not a proponent of financing cars at all. Because guess what? You might go people finance cars all the time and say, oh, I can afford that this month. But then next month they lose a job, or a couple months later, something comes up in life, an emergency, and they're like, I can't afford this. Or they take a lower paying job and they can't afford that anymore. That locks you into payments for 5, 6, now even 7 years. And I don't want you to have a payment that can potentially lead you to getting your car rebuilt like your mom, because that's not a spot you want to be in either. So you got to start figuring out what are some cheaper alternatives too. In LA right now, is it public transportation? Is it finding a friend that can pick you up on their way to work? And you say, hey, I'll pay you $10 if you pick me up from work versus paying an Uber. Or figuring out what are some different situations. Is there living situations closer to work? Is there other work options that are closer to you that you can walk to, that you can not spend $900 a month on? Are there grocery stores that you can walk to versus spending Uber to get there? Are there friends that can pick you up when you all go hang out because you don't have a car? But you really need to start figuring out how can you get that $900 down to $500 a month. And guess what? That opens up $400 more a month that can go towards paying this debt off. And once you get the debt paid off, great. Let's start saving up for a car immediately and save $1,000, $2,000 a month for a car for 5 months, and then go buy a car and you don't have an Uber payment anymore.
Yeah.
And buy that car cash. Buy a $10,000 car cash. Don't go finance something pretty. Go and get a good, reliable used car that you get inspected by a mechanic and use that. It's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world. It's not going to be the next newest Range Rover or Mercedes. It'll get you from point A to point B, eliminate this Uber stuff, but then allows you a little more flexibility to having a car. So that's what I would do in that situation is pay off the debt. While you're doing that, try to figure out how can you lower your Uber expenses. And then once you get out of debt, both the credit cards and the student loans, save up money for a car. And then after that, hey, let's start investing. So
thank you.
Does that make sense, Joshua?
Yes, it does.
Awesome. So what advice would you give to someone in a similar situation as you?
I would say be smarter with your money and make sure that you actually look at your transactions and make sure that you're actually keeping track of what you have to pay, and do not ignore your student debt, nor your credit card debt.
100%. You got to take control of it. No one's going to change that financial situation for you. No one's going to pay off your student loans. We saw that with the government. It got rejected. We know with credit card debt, creditors are going to come for your money. Car loans are going to repo your car. So the only person that can change your financial future, change your current financial situation is you. Joshua, I really do appreciate you coming on here today, being open, honest, and transparent.
Yeah, cool. It was nice meeting you, Bailey.